Alrighty, Pretender here, back with another Honkai style video, and with it only being about a week till the Acheron banner is gone, with Acheron almost being here, I want to give my final thoughts on Acheron and how good I think she really is. So I've had now, obviously with the banner being out for practically almost 3 weeks, I've had a lot of time to test her at E0, I've had a lot of time to test her at E2, mainly those two, but I have tested her at E6. All of which did have her light cone. Sadly, I haven't really seen much without her light cone. I have tried to watch a lot so I can see how she performs with and without it. So I have a relatively general idea of how she performs without the light cone, with something like an R5, good night and sleep well. And so I sort of want to give my opinions on my overall thoughts. I'm not going to tailor towards it to being one or two. I obviously will mention them, but it's not going to be tailored. Like, this whole video is not about me talking about E6 or E2. Generally, it'll be forced over to the E0 to maybe a bit of E2 talk, but that's about it. Before I get into the video, guys, hit the sub icon, turn on the bell for more videos like this, hit the like button, let's get straight into the talk. So I have to say, after we knew about Acheron's kit, when all the info was getting shown, even while all the changes was happening, any nerfs, any buffs, any changes, I did think she would genuinely be the best DPS in the game, like no matter what. If you guys do remember my titles, I would title it #1 best unit in the game because that's genuinely what I thought. I wasn't trying to bait. From what I was reading, I'm like, this is definitely going to be the best unit in the game, the best DPS. And lo and behold, now with her out, the Doom posters have faded. We've seen the damage, a lot of issues of like, oh, her ult charge is going to be a little cringe. It's not going to be great. The damage output's not going to be great. The skill is probably not going to do that much damage. We found out that all of that was not true because using at E0, it was really easy to get ult with double nihility. I didn't even use double nihility. If you use double nihility, it was really easy, and even if you used one nihility, one harmony support, it was just so easy to get her ultimate. And then obviously if you pair it with E2, now you only run a harmony support with it with one nihility, and every time you go, you get a turn, you do indeed get a stack. So with us now knowing that the issue of ult was not really a thing and the skill was doing pretty solid damage, nearly 80 to 100k plus every single time, there really wasn't anything else to complain about, as we found out that the double nihility requirement can be sort of negated with running one harmony character, which practically everyone has at least Sparkle or Bronia now. And if you don't, Ruan Mei still like works. Practically anyone can work just to increase their own damage. And so yeah, that like sort of took away the question of the fact that, oh, she's gonna be sort of held back by the ultimate and it being cringe to get, because we found out it really wasn't. And now we get to the actual numbers. My god, her ultimate, no matter at E0, no matter E2, no matter E6, regardless, it hits so goddamn hard that I just feel like every content, any team she's on, is just so easy. You take her into Swarm, you take her into Golden Gears, you take her into Pure Fiction, you take her into Memory of Chaos. She just dishes out so much damage to the point where it's like, okay, well, you know, this whole thing is covered. Free run, it's mainly about the second team now. And my god, any complaint, because I also was a bit iffy about her gaining ult charges and how, like, it might be a little slow. Once that was sort of negated and we found out that it wasn't that bad when she came out, I was like, huh, okay, so I'm probably not gonna have any issues using this unit. And when I used her, I'm like, okay, mine's E0, S1, I'm not expecting that much damage, and then I ulted, and I just kept going, and I'm just like, this is not a Starro unit. This felt like I was playing a different game. The damage output she just dished out was so stupid. And with how consistent you can get her ultimate, is just insane. So for longer, I've used her at E0 S1 compared to my now E2 S1. I've used her E0 so much to the point I'm like, oh damn, her damage is crazy. Yeah, okay, so I'm not really gonna need E2. And then I was seeing some stuff, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll wake up, screw it, I'm gonna go for E2. But before I get to E2 talk, let's keep talking about E0 for a bit. So I was just absolutely shocked at how easy it was to get her ultimate. I was so shocked at how easy it was to just dish out damage. Every content I did pretty much became so free. To the point if it was Pure Fiction or Memory of Chaos, the issue was the other team. And I do have established teams like Mono Quantum, I can run Unlimited Blade Works technically now, soon to be follow-up attack teams, Danheng, just there's a bunch of options. I just did not have to worry about that team at all, just because I knew Acheron was just going to absolutely shred it. So I was like, damn, yeah, I don't really need E2. She's doing everything good. She has a few times where maybe she won't do enough, but for the most part, it's just a little bit. She could just attack again and probably gain her ult one more time, and we're good. So she was just decimating everything. And then again, as you guys saw in my previous video, I woke up, I made a terrible decision, got my E2, And I'm like, all right, I'm not expecting this to be a crazy difference. And my God, the difference between E2 and E0 is actually so big. But it's the point where the difference is so like up here when it comes to DPS competing, to the point you really don't need it. Because E0 with her Lycone is already at the top. E2 just pushes her above that. Yes, you have a lot more damage output, especially with running one Nahodi character and getting the full 160%, and then also running a Harmony support to amplify that. But her damage is already so high to the point you really don't need it, and when I got it, it pretty much just made it overkill. So now it's just like, I get ult even faster. Now it's like literally a Sparkle turn. It will go, I use Sparkle skill on Acheron. She gains a charge, uses her skill, gains 2 charges. She gains 3 charges just by having a turn, which is absolutely mind-boggling considering she only needs 9. So it just absolutely shocked me at how good she was and how broken she was mainly. I'm not even gonna say good. She does not deserve to be called good. She is the top DPS, and I am confidently saying that. Obviously, I can't say she's the top of the top without her Lycone, because I have, again, from the bit I've seen, her damage is a lot more comparable without her Lycone to something like Jinglu. But I think the only thing that can compete is an E2 Danheng, because E2 Danheng is absolutely, like, just ludicrous. That guy is also just stupid at E2. Having the full action advance after his ultimate is actually so insane, especially how hard he hits. And so that's like the only thing I can really compare with. Jinglu just has really solid, consistent damage as well. But Acheron with the Lycone I definitely think is the top of the top. And then at E2 I still think she is slightly above an E2 Danheng. I might be wrong when it comes to calcs. I don't know. I honestly don't care. I just think she's better. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what direction the game is going to be taken with this, because it honestly feels like everything has become too easy with Acheron. So I feel like the difficulty jump we're probably about to get is going to be really, really different. Whether it comes to gimmicks or whether it comes to just sheer difficulty and maybe HP bars for enemies being a lot higher, them hitting a lot harder, them requiring different types. So I don't actually know what direction the game is going to go with Acheron. It's going to be insane. But yeah, once I got E2, pretty much as a summary, it just became insane. Again, you don't need E2. I'm not trying to say you need E2 for her to be broken. E0 with her Lycone, absolutely broken. E2 is just overkill. God forbid, I'm going to talk about this for very little bit. E6, God forbid, you have the vulnerability for anyone that enters the field to deal more damage to them with your ultimate. And then your ultimate, or not ultimate, your skill and basic attack being considered ultimate damage. The skill does like 300 to 500k on its own, and then the ultimate practically guaranteed does 1 to 2 million. It honestly just is not okay. E6 is different. If you have an E6 Acheron, you probably just beat the game, and you probably don't even have to worry about the difficulty adjustments they're gonna get, because you have a Rainbow DPS that's probably gonna shred through everything and anything to come for a long, long, long time. And so finally, would I, again, as I've already mentioned this previously, but might as well have its own section, would I put her above the other top DPSs being Jinglu, Danheng? Yes, I would definitely put her above them, just because the things she can do is just absolutely wild. It's honestly just not okay. Now, for a more personal standpoint, is she my favorite unit in the game to use in general? No. I definitely still don't think I have more fun using her over someone like Danheng. While seeing very high numbers is very satisfying, I still don't think I like using her over someone like Danheng or Zele or maybe even Dr. Ratio even. But I still will not deny that she's still up there. Just the absolute damage up what she can do. She's pretty much just, here's your free clear card. Have fun. That's how good she is. And that's like, I'm saying it kind of sounds like I'm saying it as a bad thing. No, I'm not, I promise. I'm saying that she's just so good to the point she just feels like a get out of jail free card. You're struggling on a fight, here's an Acheron. It is no longer a struggle. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on Acheron. I definitely do think she is easily the new #1 DPS. I thought of it before she came out, right as she came out, and now with my final thoughts, I just think she is just undisputed #1. Again, calcs and stuff might argue against me, but I honestly, I don't care. I think I have to say she's #1. But she isn't my #1 favorite to use, so I can't say she's the most fun. When Aventurin comes out though, that boy is going to be #1. Even though he's a preservation character that's going to do way less damage than she can, she's going to be a lot less fun to use compared to Aventurin for me. But again, everyone's different. You guys might have an absolute blast using Acheron. She might be your guys' favorite #1 top unit to use, which is completely alright. She is a sick character. I'm not denying she isn't fun. She's still really fun. Just not my favorite, but she might be yours. But yep, that is my final impressions on Acheron, and it's probably gonna stay that way. I doubt anything else that could happen that could change that. Besides, if they do release new Nihility characters that might benefit her, then that might be more fun. I will say, a lot of this comes from my bias part of her making my Welt be a lot more viable and just meta on the team. It's just fun to use. Because you guys know me, I love using Welt. But yep, that's the final impressions. That's what I think. See you guys next time. Peace out.